So, what brought you here is how to talk to your boss about a promotion. Whew, that's a subject. And I'm going to come at it from a couple of different ways, both as a coach and as somebody who was in talent management responsible for hiring people and all sorts of good stuff for over 15 years on Don Draper's Madison Avenue. So, get a pen and paper out. It's going to be a mix of both. Okay. So, pen and paper. The coachy side of me is going to start with this. Let's talk about energy. Let's talk about your energy. And let's talk about the energy that you bring to this conversation. It is critical that you come to this conversation with courage, confidence, and also with a little tinge of divine compensation. What do I mean by that? I happen to believe that money is just another expression of energy. It's just paper. We made it up after a barter system, and now it's this thing that we exchange, and now we don't even see it anymore because of our credit cards, because of our online payments, our Venmos, and now cryptocurrency. So, back up. What is money? Money is the exchange of energy. Now, what you're doing in your job is giving your energy to the job in exchange for money, the energy of money. So thinking about your value and how to be compensated, really get clear. This is about a divine compensation. Money is human. What we do and the energy that we bring into this world is divine. That's divine compensation. So first get clear on that. All right, so the former talent management girl is going to come out now and have you write down, what is your goal for this conversation? You are talking to your boss about a promotion because I'm guessing you want more money or maybe a new title or maybe more responsibilities or to be moved maybe to a different office. So what is it that you want? If it's your raise, if it's money related, what is your number that you're going for? If it's a goal, what is the outcome that you desire? Be very clear about going into this conversation, being the authority in the conversation, because this is your life. We tend to sometimes think that people in a position of power hold the power over us, but they don't. I'm here to remind you that if you don't get what you want, you can leave. That's a choice. It's a choice to stay and be miserable, or it's a choice to stay and get what you want. I will also encourage you that there have been many studies that have been done, and what turns out is that people don't say no as much as we think that they're going to. By you just coming in, of course, dragging that energy of divine compensation, confidence with you, and being very clear about what it is that you want, that will give you the authority to then ask for that. And in most cases, when somebody feels that the authority is in the room, they don't say no. Okay, yes, I am already hearing some of you in the comments or in your heads that, well, my boss can't make the decision. There's somebody else that has to make that decision. This is just a first conversation. Great. Who is that decision maker? What is their role in the company? Which brings me to my next point. Yes, I talked about tying your value to your divine compensation, but the talent management side of me is going to ask you, what value do you bring? Have you tied that to the company's goals and value? Have you tied that to maybe your role on a team? Have you tied it to your role? And then most importantly, how is it that you support your boss in achieving their goals? That, my friends, is the correct translation of owning your value, coming from a place of knowing that, asking very clearly for what you believe you are valued for or what you want, and knowing that in most cases people don't say no. The real undercurrent of tying that all together with the value of the company is, or organization, is just as you would say maybe a family, because you're all moving towards the same goal in lockstep. And so when there's a feeling of, we're doing this together, I'm here on this team to help with XYZ, then it's not like you're walking into a room just asking for more money or a promotion. You're actually saying, look, I know my value and I know the value of this company, and I'm directly tied into the impact that we're making, whatever it may be, whatever the metrics are for any organization that you are part of. Tie your value and what you want to be giving and what you want to be doing to that. So I hope that some of these were helpful. To recap, energy, what you bring, energy, money is just energy. It's just the exchange. It's a transaction. So consider who you are and your value and come from that place. Also, get clear on what it is that you're asking for in that conversation. You're the authority. You're the one asking for the promotion. You're the one there. Even if you didn't call for the meeting and it's something that is an annual meeting and maybe there's multiple people in the room, but it's about you and it's about your life, and you have agency over your life and where you work, how you spend your time, what you do with your divine energy, and how you are divinely compensated for that. So in this conversation, you are the authority. I'm also going to ask you to be brave. That's the last step. And when you're asking for something, I want you to think, is this a realistic request, but also slightly crazy? That's a good sign that what you're asking for is probably right in line with progression, both for yourself and for your organization. If you're the kind of person with a fire in your belly and you know that there's a better way to do things, then you're gonna love this. I have a fun and free diagnostic tool for you to use to see if you're calibrated to your highest flow of energy. If you've watched any of my other videos on this channel, you'll know that I talk a lot about energy centers for people and organizations and how they're either harnessing their flow or experiencing leaks. It's an easy tool that you'll get a lot of benefit from, and you can use it over and over again. Head to the link below to download it and get calibrating. It's been so fun being on Michelle's channel. She is the epitome of a great coach and mentor, so this has been a privilege. I hope to see you in my next video.